All right, what's up, guys? We should be live. Should be good. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the stream. We have a 8-game Wednesday slate to go over. As always, we're gonna answer questions for the next 25-30 minutes. So if you have any questions on tonight's slate, you can go ahead and start throwing those in the chat. News-wise today, there wasn't too much that came out during the day except one big piece of news from Phoenix. Devin Booker got put in health and safety protocols. I don't know. I just out of nowhere, health and safety protocols are a thing again. I thought we were over with the health and safety protocols, but Devin Booker is out tonight for the Suns. That does change a lot. Without Devin Booker, there's going to be a lot of usage up in the air. A lot of guys should benefit. We already talked about Cameron Payne as being a really good value play. With Booker out now, Cameron Payne is, he's almost a lock for me. And I hate to use the word lock because there's never locks in DFS, but my God, Cameron Payne should crush tonight. He's way too cheap. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. And then DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, I think all these guys benefit too. They should get more opportunity. There should be more usage for those guys. There is a lot to like from Phoenix without Booker, without CP3. And I think not having Booker, that does make it more likely that this game does stay close. Right now the spread's still pretty big. It's I think Phoenix is still favored by 10 or 11. But if this game can stay close, you could see a lot of guys do well, especially from the Phoenix side. Definitely like Cameron Payne. I think Ayton, Bridges, Johnson are all in play as well. The rest of Phoenix, like Jay Crowder, Aaron Holiday, I'm not as excited about those guys, but definitely the top three with Payne. Really, really like those Suns guys. And that's all the news for today. It wasn't too much news. I don't think there's any other. We're still waiting for news on Darius Garland. He's questionable. I think he's gonna play though. I'm pretty sure he went through shoot around if I remember seeing that correctly. So yeah, I think we've pretty much got all the news that we need. So if you guys have questions, start those throwing those in chat, and we're gonna try and get through all the questions, answer any questions you have, and hopefully win some money tonight. Brandon asks, who should I pick between CJ or Bridges that on the Suns because Devin Booker out, so the value's coming from Phoenix. So between Cam Johnson or Bridges, straight up, I think I would take Mikal Bridges over Cam Johnson, but both guys are in play for me. Both are in play. I'm guessing, I don't know what the Suns starting lineup's going to be, but I'm guessing it'll be Payne, Bridges, Ayton, Crowder, and then Cam Johnson probably starts. So, both guys should get good minutes regardless. I think I'd lean Bridges, though. Okay, Darius Garland is available to play. So that's all the news that we're waiting on. At least important news. There's some, I think, Dennis Schroeder's questionable, but I don't think that's super important. Chris Duarte's questionable, I think. Let me see. I thought we just got an update on Chris Duarte. Okay, so he was out. But yeah, that was really the only news was Garland. I thought Garland was going to play. Any interest in ball on FanDuel at 8K? I would have to look at the FanDuel pricing. I don't know who's priced around LaMelo. 8K does feel like that feels too cheap for LaMelo, but it would all come down to who's priced around him, and I don't really look at the FanDuel pricing. Any value from OKC? I don't think there's much value from OKC. They're missing a lot of guys, but God, these cheap guys from OKC, I just don't want to roster these guys. Trey Mann, Poku, Roby, man. I guess Poku you could play. Poku did get 20. Yeah, he got 26 minutes last game. He probably plays. I think he would play in a blowout anyway. So I think his minutes are pretty safe. I guess if you need a value play from OKC, Poku is probably your best bet. But I'm not super excited about Mini Thunder today outside of SGA. I definitely like SGA, but really no one else from that team. Thoughts on Keon Johnson for value? Yeah, he started last game in place of Justice Winslow, but he really didn't do anything. He's never really been a good point per minute player. I don't think I'd be going to Keon Johnson personally, even if he starts again. Let's get that money. Noah, Holiday from Phoenix, fadeable chalk or lock him in. I don't think Aaron Holiday will be chalk. With Cameron Payne back, I think Cameron Payne's going to take a good amount of minutes away from Aaron Holiday. Aaron Holiday will probably still play 25, 26 minutes, but at 4,400, he's not going to be chalk. I don't think he's not someone I'm really excited about. Cameron Payne will be chalk. I think Cameron Payne is good chalk, though. He would be one of the first guys in my lineup. Trey Lyles become risky if Rashawn Holmes plays. I don't think that would really impact Trey Lyles. Trey Lyles started at the 4 last game, and Rashawn Holmes is basically just the backup center. So those guys aren't going to take minutes away from each other. If Trey Lyles starts again, he's definitely in play for value. I do like him quite a bit. Thoughts on Allen, Mobley, and Ayton? I think it's a good matchup for those Cleveland guys going up against Charlotte. Between Allen or Mobley, I prefer Allen. And then without Devin Booker, I do like DeAndre Ayton quite a bit. DeAndre Ayton has not been super productive this season, but I think no Booker, no CP3, like, does Ayton get a usage bump? He might. I mean, he definitely could have a better offensive game than he normally would. They might run the offense through Ayton without, Booker and CP3. So definitely like Ayton. I think Allen and Mobley are fine too. I have over on Landry and Crowder points and Hart's assists. Can you help me with 1 to 2 solid prospect plays to add to those 3? I mean, if you watched my YouTube video earlier, you could take the picks that I gave out in that video. But if you want some other picks that I like outside of those 3, I mean, there's a couple like points props that I do like quite a bit. SGA, his points prop I still think is just too low. I mean, the last 2 games without Lou Dort and without Giddey, SGA has scored 32, or he scored 36 and 37 real life points. The one issue, or the one worry I guess I have with SGA is that this game does have a lot of blowout risk. But man, if it stays close against Denver, SGA can easily get us 26 points and hit his over. So over 25.5 points for SGA. That's a prop that I like a lot on Prospects today. And another point prop I like is CJ McCollum. His points prop is 24.5. He's gone over that in like a lot of the games he's played with the Pelicans so far. His usage has been really good with the Pelicans. He's been taking a lot of shots. Last game against the Lakers, he came up just short. He got benched a little early because it was a blowout. Game against Toronto was a blowout. The games that have stayed close, 30 points, 38 points, 32 points. Like CJ McCollum, and a great matchup against Sacramento, can easily get us 25 points with how good his role is right now for the Pelicans. So those are 2 picks I like for Prospects tonight. Over on SGA points, over on CJ McCollum points. I will definitely have those 2 in some entries for sure. And if you want to, check the plays out I gave on YouTube earlier, you can do that as well. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Hey, Robert, what's up, my man? Appreciate you being here. Is Mikal Bridges a good pivot if Garland plays? Well, those guys aren't on the same team, so that's not really, like, Garland's not going to impact Bridges. Mitchell or McCollum? I would prefer CJ McCollum. Reggie, an okay value play tonight. Yeah, this guy from the Thunder, I have no idea who this dude is, but he's been getting good minutes. He's not a very good point per minute player. Even if he plays like 25, 30 minutes, like he's a guy that I would never be scared to fade. If Craigie, or however you say this dude's name, if he goes out there and puts up 30 DraftKings points tonight, then, so be it. But I think even at 3K stone minimum, like, he's just such a bad point per minute player. Not someone I'm really going to look to roster personally. I just don't want to be playing these Thunder guys, man. Outside of SGA, I'm not really looking to mini Thunder on this slate. Ball, Fox, or J-Val? I would prefer De'Aaron Fox there. Lyles or Eubanks? Give me Lyles, assuming he starts again. What if Payne doesn't play? Cameron Payne's probable, so he should play. He should be good to go. And they've already said they expect him to play. Cam Johnson or Crowder? I would prefer Cam Johnson. Hart or Mikal Bridges? Give me Josh Hart. What do you think of Vincent, Hero, Butler, Lyles, Allen, Payne, Cam Johnson, Sabonis? I like that, Brandon. I think that's a good lineup. Baller, Garland, give me LaMelo straight up, but that's a really close one, Eric. But give me LaMelo straight up. Any interest in Şengün? Not really. Like, I don't really ever play Şengün when Christian Wood's healthy. So, yeah, not someone I'm really interested in personally. I guess if you want to play Şengün and like hope for a blowout, I could definitely see that happening. Like, I could see him playing more in a blowout, but yeah, I'm not super excited about Şengün. SGA, Fox, or McCollum? I would go SGA there if you have a salary. Any interest in Gobert? I know the blowout possibility makes him a bit scary. Yeah, that's a risk, but man, like, it's such a good matchup for these Utah guys. Like, somebody from Utah is probably going to have a big game. It could be Gobert, it could be Mitchell, but the matchup's so good. Like, you got to think somebody from Utah does well. I mean, I could definitely see Gobert dominating here. We've seen, centers be able to just crush against Houston. We saw what Zubac did against them, so I think Gobert's definitely in play. I do worry about the blowout, but man, if the game stays close, Gobert, Mitchell, those guys offer big-time upside for sure. Talking about CJ on New Orleans or Bridges, which one should I pick? I would definitely play CJ McCollum over Mikal Bridges for sure. Allen, Brogdon, or Mobley? Give me Jared Allen there. Poku or Herbert Jones? I'd probably go Herbert Jones if I had to pick one of those two. And you like Jalen Suggs, Jalen Green, or Oubre? I mean, I think Suggs is fine. Jalen Green just hasn't shown any upside this year, so I really never play Jalen Green. And then Kelly Oubre, I mean, Kelly Oubre is going to come off the bench, play like 25 minutes. You got to hope that he just hits his shots. He's playable, I guess, but between those three, I definitely like Jalen Suggs the most. Cam Johnson or Jetty Osman? Give me Cam Johnson. Ayton or Sabonis, points per dollar? I mean, points per dollar, I think Ayton's probably the better play. Any interest in Lance? Lance Stevenson? I don't think so. Like, even with Duarte out, like, I mean, especially with Brogdon playing, like, I don't think Lance will get a ton of run off the bench. So, yeah, no interest in Lance for me. Any minutes restriction on Payne? We don't know yet. I don't think he'll be limited. He's coming back from a wrist injury. So, like, wrist injuries are not things that would normally limit a guy. Usually when a guy gets limited, it's because of like leg injury or something like that. So even though he hasn't played in like a month or two, I think with it being a wrist injury, he'll be fine. I'd assume his conditioning's been up to par. So yeah, honestly the question is like when he's shooting, I don't know. I'm guessing it's his shooting wrist. Hopefully he just doesn't like re-aggravate it while he's shooting, but. Cameron Payne, if he plays and starts and plays full minutes, he's the best value play on the slate, and it's not even close. Rudy, Garland, Bridges, or Rozier. For that one, I would lean Garland, but that's really close between Garland and Gobert. Only thing scary about Gobert is just the blowout risk. I wouldn't be surprised if Gobert plays like 26 minutes, but man, if he plays his full minutes, he could definitely crush against Houston, but. I think the blowout risk probably just makes Garland a little bit of a safer play there. Okay, Kevin Porter Jr. is available to play. Dennis Schroeder is out. So, yeah, I don't think that changes too much with Dennis Schroeder being out, especially with KPJ back. Maybe, like, Josh Christopher plays a little bit more. Maybe Garrison Matthews plays a little bit more. But not much I like on the Rockets, personally. Even with Schroeder out. Favorite stud to pay up for? I mean, it's probably Jokic if you can fit him. Matchup against OKC, he should be able to dominate. If the game can stay close, I mean, there's some blowout risk in that OKC-Denver game, but, man, like, I think Jokic could dominate here if he can, if the game could stay close and he plays his full minutes. He's actually been pretty bad against OKC this season, but I don't think that's something that we should look too much into. I mean, OKC's been one of, like, the worst defensive teams against centers this year, and they're in terms of rebounds, like, they've been killed. Rebounding-wise, they're allowing a ton of rebounds to opposing centers. Really, really good spot for Jokic. Sirius Jones, what's up, my man? What's up? Any interest in Garland with the pace bump versus Charlotte? I definitely think Garland's in play, assuming there's no minutes limit or anything. We haven't got any update yet on, like, if there's going to be a minutes limit for Garland, but I would think he's full go. LB or Poku? Honestly, with Winslow out, I might lean Ellaby. Like, Ellaby actually did play pretty well last game with Winslow out. He played 26 minutes. He also lost some time due to blowout. Obviously, this is a game that has blowout risk, but obviously, there's blowout risk in the OKC game too. The one thing about Poku is that he probably would still play in a blowout, whereas Ellaby, I don't know if he'd play in a blowout. That's a tough one, Mark. I would lean Ellaby, but that's close. McCollum or Halliburton? Definitely give me McCollum. Thoughts on playing Harden and Embiid together? I don't think I'd do that, Tori. I think you're really limiting your upside when you do that. I know they both had a really big game last game, but I don't think I'd be doing that. Like, playing Harden and Embiid together is like playing... It's like playing, I don't know, let's see. Like KD and Kyrie together when they're both healthy. Like, that's just something you normally don't do. So I don't think I'd do that personally. Buddy Hield over 3.5 assists. Over is the only lock on prospects tonight. Buddy Hield's assist, I did not even look at that one. Yeah. I mean, he's hit it in 5 straight. I'd have to take a look at, like, Buddy Hield's potential assist. See if he's, like, getting really lucky or if he's actually, like, getting a lot of potential assists. But, yeah, Buddy Hield's hit over on his assists 5 games in a row now. He's definitely been he's been facilitating a little bit more with Indiana than he has in previous, with previous teams. I'll definitely say that. I meant getting off Brandon Goodwin if Garland plays. Yeah, with Garland playing, I have zero interest in Brandon Goodwin. Zero interest in Goodwin. You think Eubanks will be highly owned? I don't think so. I think he'll get some ownership, but I think a lot of the chalk value plays are like Cameron Payne, Trey Lyles, Gabe Vincent. I think those are like the chalk value plays. Eubanks will get some ownership, but I don't think it's going to be like massive chalk on Eubanks. Cameron Payne will definitely be massive chalk, but we talked about it earlier. I think that's chalk you just eat. Herb Jones or Eubanks? Give me Eubanks. Any Barrett love? I mean, I think Barrett's fine. I don't love much from the Knicks today, but Barrett's role has been really good. He's been playing a ton of minutes. If the game stays close, he'll play 38 minutes. He's going to take a ton of shots. I mean, I don't hate going to Barrett. Him and Randall are like the only two guys I have interest in from the Knicks. Not really interested in anyone else. Anthony Simons and Jared Allen or Harden and Trey Lyles? Oh, man, that's a really close one. Give me Simons and Allen, but that is really close. Still like Gabe Vincent? Yeah, I think Gabe Vincent's still a really good value. He should start once again with Lowry out. Should play pretty good minutes. Matchup against the Milwaukee actually is kind of decent. Like, Milwaukee does give up a lot of three-point attempts, and Gabe Vincent, he is a guy that will shoot a lot of threes, so I honestly think it's a pretty good spot for Gabe Vincent, and he's still fairly cheap as well. So he's a really good value, in my opinion. Is SGA good? I mean, SGA's in play. Only thing I worry about is blowout, but man, if the game stays close, I think SGA offers big-time upside. Honestly, if you wanted to play like SGA and Jokic together, get some positive correlation there, like I think that's kind of smart. Because if the game does stay close, I could see SGA and Jokic both having really big games. And I normally don't like correlate like that, but that's definitely a little correlation that I like. Butler and Sabonis still in play? I think both are still in play, definitely. You fading Giannis and Jokic? Right now, neither one are in my main lineup. I'm kind of focusing on like the 9 to 8K range. That's where I like a lot of plays. But obviously, anytime you're not playing Jokic or Giannis, you don't feel good about it. I think they're always in play, but on this slate, they're not guys I'm trying to jam in. But again, I only play one lineup. If I was playing 5 lineups, I'd have some Jokic, I'd have some Giannis. But in my one lineup today, they're not in there right now. 8,100 at shooting guard. I would say probably Brandon Ingram would be my pick there. Kevin Love or Jalen Smith? Give me Kevin Love. I'm guessing Jalen Smith goes back to the bench today with Brogdon back, so no interest in Jalen Smith for me. For 3,200 or lower, I don't know if there's anyone 3,200 or lower that I'd be playing, but Trey Lyles is 3,300. So if you could find $100, I would want to get to Trey Lyles. He's probably your best value pick that cheap. Is Keon Johnson in play for some value? We kind of talked about him earlier. He started last game, but he was really he really wasn't productive at all. He's not a good point per minute player. Even if he starts and plays 25, 30 minutes, he could put up 18 DraftKings points. Just not a guy that I really think is someone I'd want to roster. He just doesn't offer much upside. You think Quickly plays good minutes? I think Quickly, he did play good minutes last game, but man, when it comes to the Knicks, you just never know how they're going to divvy up the minutes. Quickly played 26 minutes last game. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays 15 minutes today, so I'm not really interested in Quickly. It's so tough to predict how Tibbs is going to divvy up the minutes. Outside of RJ Barrett and Julius Randle, you have no idea who's going to play the minutes. Fournier's minutes have been pretty high, but some nights when he's not shooting well, he'll play 28 minutes. So that's why I just don't really like going to those Knicks guys outside of Barrett and Randle. Those are the only two that I really feel good about. $4,300 util have Payne already. I would probably go Gabe Vincent, assuming you don't have Gabe Vincent. Yo, Noah just got here. Who you liking today for value? We kind of talked about some value plays I'm on. Cameron Payne's going to be really chalky, but he's the best value play on the slate, in my opinion. I think Gabe Vincent's a good value. I think Trey Lyles is a good value if he starts again. Drew Eubanks is in play for value. There's some guys I like for cheap. Favorite shooting guards on Yahoo? I would say probably Brandon Ingram, Tyler Hero. I don't think there's anyone cheap that I'd really be going to at shooting guard. Maybe CJ Ellaby as a punt play I don't hate, but I definitely think Brandon Ingram, Tyler Hero. If you want to go up to Harden, I don't hate that either. But Ingram, Hero, probably my two favorite shooting guards on Yahoo. Gabe Vincent or Jackson Hayes? Give me Vincent. But if Jackson Hayes starts again, he is definitely a solid value too. But I would prefer Vincent. Barton or Suggs? Give me Suggs. You think it's smart to play Payne, Trey Lyles, and Gabe Vincent together for value? I mean, that's going to be a chalky build. I think all three of those guys are going to get a lot of ownership. As long as you're different in some other spots, I'm fine with that. Now, if you're playing all three of those guys and you're playing other chalk plays, then that's something you probably want to fix up in tournaments. But you can still play those chalk value plays and just get different with the rest of your lineup. So yeah, even though those guys will be popular, I do think they're all good values. Vincent, Lyles, and Cameron Payne. Baller Fox, I would go De'Aaron Fox. With no Booker's campaign, Ayton a must play. I think campaign's a must play. He's a lock for me. Ayton, on the other hand, I don't consider a must play, but I do like Ayton quite a bit. I think his usage should be pretty good without Booker and CP3. And maybe they run the offense through Ayton tonight. We don't really know, but I definitely think this could be a big game for Ayton. It's a really good matchup too. Like Portland, no Nurkic. I mean, it's going to be like Drew Eubanks, Trenton Watford, Greg Brown. Like these are going to be the guys guarding Ayton. So yeah, definitely a good spot for Ayton for sure. Thoughts on Garland? I think Garland's in play. As long as as long as he's not limited, which I don't think he is. We got their starting lineup. He is starting, and there's no report of any minutes limit. So I'm guessing we're getting full minutes from Garland tonight. Really good matchup against Charlotte. Big time pace up spot. Charlotte does play really, really fast. So I'm totally fine going to Garland. Thanks, Noah, for Malik Beasley advice yesterday. Helped me cash. Yeah, Malik Beasley, I don't know what he did, but I know Anthony Edwards was ruled out yesterday. I want to take a look at what Malik Beasley did. What did he finish with? 27 minutes, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Damn. That's like 32, 33 DraftKings points. So there you go, yeah. We talked about Malik Beasley being a sneaky value if Anthony Edwards got ruled out. Edwards got ruled out, and yeah, Beasley was pretty good. I didn't play him personally, but I'm glad glad that helped you, Tori. Cameron Payne or Aaron Holiday? Definitely give me Cameron Payne. SGA or Harden? I would prefer Harden if you have the salary. Giannis or Jokic? Give me Jokic. What do you think? Fox, McCollum, Lyles, Eubanks, Harden, Gabe Vincent, Brown, and Payne? Brown. Who's Brown? Oh, Greg Brown? I don't know about Greg Brown, but the rest of that lineup I do like, Nick. Who would you pick between Embiid or Harden? I would say Harden, just because I think there's some other center plays I like today. I'm not really paying up at center. I like Ayton. Jared Allen, I think, is in a really good spot. J-Val, I kind of like. If you're going a little bit cheaper, Eubanks, I think, is in play. Like, I think there's other centers I'd rather go to over Embiid. So between Embiid or Harden, I guess give me Harden. Quickly or Man? So Quickly or Trey Man? Give me Trey Man. Any interest in Fox? I think Fox is a really good option. It's a really good matchup. It's one of the best games of the night to target for DFS. Really high total. Should be a close game between Sacramento and New Orleans. I think Fox is a really good play. I think Sabonis is definitely viable. Trey Lyles I like a lot for value. Definitely some interesting plays from Sacramento, and Fox is for sure on my radar. Melo or SGA? Give me a SGA. Gobert or Garland? Yeah, I think somebody else asked that question earlier. I lean Garland just because there's a lot of blowout risk in that Houston-Utah game. That makes me lean Garland. I just don't want to have to worry about blowout, man. I'm so tired of guys losing minutes because of blowout. But knowing my freaking luck, so the games that are expected to be blowouts tonight or at least that have big spreads. So Sixers are favored by 10.5. Utah's favored by 14.5. Denver's favored by 14.5. Phoenix is favored by 11.5. Knowing my luck, all those games will stay close, and these other games will be blowouts. So Charlotte, Cleveland, India, Orlando, Milwaukee, Miami, these will be the blowouts. I mean, blowouts have been so tough to predict this year. You would think Utah's going to beat the crap out of Houston, but who the hell knows? Simons or Garland? Give me Garland. Barton or Maxey? I'd probably go Maxey, honestly. Goat Hope all is well. Still watching daily when I can. Best 4K and under. Ride or die, bro. Appreciate you, T-Money. Appreciate you, my man. Best play 4K or under. It's probably Trey Lyles. If he starts again. Also, Rozier, Ball, and Bridges tonight. I mean, the Charlotte guys I'm not super high on. It's a really tough matchup against Cleveland. Big time pace down spot. You can never go wrong with LaMelo or Rozier or Bridges just because they're going to play so many minutes if it's a close game. But Yeah, none of those guys stand out to me on this slate. Would you play like a Compazzo or Theo Maledon or Brandon Williams as punt plays anticipating a blowout? I mean, Nick, if you want to do that, like that's something you can do and hope you get a blowout right, but I usually only do that on like really, really small slates. So 2-game slate, 3-game slate, if you want to build hoping for a blowout, I think it's fine. On an 8-game slate, I don't think we need to do that. So personally, I would not be playing those guys. Butler or Halliburton? I would go Jimmy Butler. Just here to support. Hey, Redmond, appreciate your support, my man. Appreciate your support. McCollum or Butler? I would take Jimmy Butler, but that's a close one, Nicholas. That's a close one. It's Harden a fine play? I mean, Harden's in play for sure. He's not someone that I'm trying to jam in today. But if I was playing multiple lineups, I probably would get a little exposure to Harden. He won't make my one lineup, though, I don't think. I was on Beasley, 3,600 on FanDuel, 1% owned, 30 points. There you go, baby. There you go. Love to hear it. Yeah, I was expecting, with that Anthony Edwards news coming out so late, I was expecting, Malik Beasley would be really, really low owned, and surely enough, he was. Last question, Donovan Mitchell or CJ McCollum? Give me CJ McCollum. Still like Butler tonight. I think Jimmy Butler is still a really good option. Without Kyle Lowry, there's going to be more opportunity for Jimmy Butler, more ball handling opportunities. Game blew out last game. He should have did way better than he did, but it was a blowout. He only played like 26 minutes. You would have to think tonight's game against Milwaukee stays close. Jimmy should play big minutes. I definitely like Jimmy quite a bit. I think Lowry being out is really good for Jimmy for his fantasy upside. Should I play SGA if I already got the Joker? I mean, I kind of like doing that, Brandon, just because if that game does stay close, you would have to think it's probably because like SGA is having a big game and maybe Jokic is too. So if you want to play both together, no issues with it. Hey, Noah, Payne get 28 minutes tonight? I mean, I would think without Booker, without CP3, Cameron Payne's going to play as much as he can. He hasn't played in like a month, so we don't know if he's going to be limited or not. But again, it was a wrist injury. I think he'll be fine. I think Payne's going to be good to go. So he's one of my favorite, or he's the best value play on the slate by far. Thus on my lineup, Fox, Vincent, Payne, Brogdon, Harden, Hero, Sabonis, Lyles, and Allen. I think that's solid, Damien. I think that's solid. Poku or Ellaby? Again, I think someone asked that earlier. I lean Ellaby, but that's a close one. Lyles or Eubanks? Give me Lyles. Blowouts for some shit. I finished 206 last night out of 48 people, and Tate played 20 minutes. Yeah, dude, just... God, the blowouts have cost me so much money this year. It's unreal. I don't think I've ever, benefited from a blowout. I don't know if there's ever been a time where I've won money because a game blew out. I think I'm always losing money on blowouts. It's just so unreal. Allen or Ayton, DK Cash? I think in Cash you would want to be playing Ayton. He projects better. Hayes or Lyles if both are starting? I lean Lyles, but that's a close one, man. That's a close one. I like both quite a bit. I think both are good values. I know on Yahoo, those two guys are the same price tag or maybe $1 difference. Play one lineup too because I don't got it like that right now. I'm really trying to win big for once. Had my best card yesterday. Got burned big time by Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I had Jaylen Brown on Yahoo, so I feel you, man. Jaylen Brown, I think he got injured really early on, 2 or 3 minutes into the game. Just part of the game, man. I've been playing DFS for 5 years. When a guy gets injured and you have him in your lineup, it's just you just move on to the next day. It's just part of the game. There's going to be days when someone gets injured and you don't have them and it helps you. So it'll all come back around, I'm sure. Thanks, man. Go Knowles. Hey, Nick. Go Knowles, my man. Let's go, baby. Mobley or Hield? I'd go Evan Mobley, I think. Harrison Barnes or Herb Jones? Give me Harrison Barnes. All right, last question here from Nick, then we're going to hop out of here. You think Bam, or do you like Bam? I think he's a little too cheap if the game stays close. I mean, I never have an issue with Bam. I don't want to say that he's too cheap because I think he's almost 9K. Yeah, he's almost 9K, so that's where he probably should be priced, but I definitely think Bam has upside. I mean, we've seen Bam put up really big games when he's played full minutes. I would prefer Jimmy straight up over Bam, but yeah, no issues with Bam if you want to go there. But all right, guys, I am out of here. I wish you guys the best of luck tonight. We will be back once again tomorrow, an hour before lock. I hope to see you guys all in the stream tomorrow. Best of luck. We'll see you tomorrow, fellas. Hope you enjoy your Wednesday night, and let's all win some money tonight. Let's all run good for once. Good luck, fellas. Peace out.